Shannon, have you ever seen such an all-time great player decline so quickly?
No. Just 2 years ago, Skippy led the league in scoring at 34 points a game, 7.5 assists, third straight scoring title. And now he's a pass-first point guard because he can't beat people with that initial step. He can't get by people consistently. The step back isn't reliable anymore. And because they don't view him as the same James Harden, he doesn't get the calls that he normally gets. So he's not shooting 15, 16 free throws on a nightly basis to keep that average into the 30s. That's not what he is anymore, Skip. And like Joel Embiid said, it wasn't a slight. Man, you hear what Joel Embiid said? He's not. He's not Houston's James Harden anymore. That guy is gone. And the reason why he left a lot sooner than what he should have is because James Harden didn't take care of himself. James Harden was more concerned about hanging out with the rappers and partying and doing all this stuff to 5 o'clock in the morning and then coming up and now it shows. You can do that when you're 27, 28. But now all of a sudden you're in your 30s. And at some point in time, that should be enough. You're like, man, I done did that. I done been to the studio, heard them rap and put this on wax. Hey, we good. Now it's time, it's about me. I tell you what they not doing. They not missing what they're supposed to be doing to hang out with you. When it come time for them to record and do what they need to do, they do it. How about you when it's time for you? Get your butt in the gym. Get your butt in the weight room. Eat like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Man, no, I've never seen anything like this, Skip.
Yeah, quick question.
Yeah.
How many 4 a.m. cheeseburgers do you think James Harden has downed in his career? Seriously.
Cheeseburgers, wings.
Yes.
You know, a lot of them, I ain't gonna lie, Skip, they got some good food up at the club now. Ain't no sense in me lying now. There ain't no bullshit. Food is good food.
You would not know.
I wouldn't know anything about it. I heard, you know, Uber Eats do deliver. But anyway, all I'm saying, Skip, look, if I'm the Sixers, I'm terrified. Because the man is in line for a 4-year, $223 million. So tack on his option, that's $47 million. That's 5 years at $270 million, which rounds out, if my math is correct, $54 million a year. Now, you tell me in 5 years, he's about to turn 33. You tell me in 2 years, hell, next year, that's going to be a terrible contract.
Yep.
Can you imagine 2-3 years into it? You think you're going to try to get off Russ? You say, man, I don't know how they're going to get rid of Russ at 47. Can you imagine trying to move James Harden at 35 at $54 million a year? Skip, I've never seen anything like this. But you should expect it. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can stave off. It's coming now. Father Time coming. He's coming, but you can slow it. You hear him say, you can slow the aging process. Or doctors say, well, Shannon, you know, you're going to have it, but there are some things that you can do to slow the decaying of the hips down. Yeah. Okay, I did it, but it just got to the point I couldn't bear it anymore. James could have slowed this down, Skip.
Absolutely.
By training, by eating properly, doing what it took.
See LeBron James. 37 going on
37 years,
right?
And that's it's not a big, because we've seen bigs play. Robert Parrish played a long time. You can see bigs play. Tim Duncan played 19 years, but Tim played stayed out until he was like 22 in college, so he was 41. But we don't see wing players play 20 years like a LeBron is playing. That's because LeBron and when LeBron goes on vacation, LeBron is working out. Man, James Harden go on vacation, James Harden, hell, he ain't working out when he not on vacation.
Agreed.
I know damn well he ain't doing no push-up, sit-up to hit no weight room when he on vacation. I haven't seen anything like it. And it should be a wake-up call. But you know, all his homeboys and all the players around the league, James Harden still James Harden. No, he's not. Y'all fooling yourself. Y'all know that man not himself. Y'all tell him that because y'all want him to stay on that same path that he's on so he doesn't reverse this. Get man James, you straight. They like, I'm going to the weight room. I don't know what I'm going to the gym. I don't know what you do. I'm going to eat correctly. I ain't seen anything like this. I've never seen a guy go from where he was up here scoring the basketball, and now all of a sudden, hell, he couldn't buy a basket.
So I'm sure you encountered players along your trail who, when they retired, they just stopped exercising.
Yes.
Because they were forced to their whole lives.
They only exercised and ate correctly because of the sport.
And many of those really didn't exercise or eat correctly at all while they were playing.
No.
They just were able to play their way and stay in some shape.
Right.
And with their God-given ability, they could still prevail.
Yes.
In my career, my lengthy career, I have never seen anybody fall off the cliff the way James did.
No.
You can also you can almost just trace it back to the day he left Houston's city limits. When he crossed the city limits, he fell right off the cliff.
Right.
He was washed. He was done. He was defunct. Because when Joel said after the game last night, everybody expected the Houston James. Well, the Houston James got left behind.
Yeah, he's still in Houston.
And be careful, James, what you wish for, because you quit your way out of town there to get up to Brooklyn to join what we all proclaim the most explosive, the greatest big three firepower we'd ever seen.
Offensive guys you've ever seen, yes.
And yet, you could see right away he wasn't measuring up even to the other two, and he certainly wasn't measuring up to KD. And when Kyrie went down and out in the 7-game series against Milwaukee last year, we all said, James, it's time.
Yes.
But James had a hamstring pull. But he always has a hamstring pull, so he couldn't go. And I have no idea. I never know whether somebody's really hurt or not. But we gave him the injury pass last year, and I'm not sure he deserved it. Because in games 6 and 7, he shot, 5 of 6 and 7, 5 of 18 from 3. He just wasn't there. It was, you even said it, it was KD or bust, especially in games 6 and 7. And obviously in 7, they busted finally when Kevin hit the wall in overtime. Well, James hit the wall the year before when he left Houston.
But Skip, okay, let's just say for the sake of and I'll believe that last year in Brooklyn, he did have a hamstring. But how the hell you come back into camp with the same hamstring issue? You had 6 months off.
I don't know. I don't buy it.
I don't either.
Don't believe it.
No, we're not giving him no out because he played bad, because he's not the same player, and we see it right before our eyes. We can see that he can't consistently beat guys one-on-one where he always could. Skip, they would trap James Harden. They might fake at him now, but now you see Oladipo reach, it still recovered. Reached again, still recovered. He tries to go behind his back, Bam swipes him.
Oladipo, usually you're on skates.
Yes.
He just stood flat-footed and said, I'm not going to move because I don't think you can get past me either side.
And that's Oladipo coming off 2 quad tears.
Yeah. Well, he did. It's miraculous that he's sitting
right there in front of him. James just can't, that initial step, what James could do, Skip, is that, like you said, he was slithery. Well, you put a little extra pound in your midsection, sometimes, Skip, you going down the aisles on the airplane, you a little wider, you going to bump into, excuse me.
Well, I know, but he just aged right before your eyes, where he lost a half step of quickness. In this league, they're all quick.
Well, Skip, normally as we start to age as an athlete, what I did, I would take weights. I'd take a pound off here. As I got 27, take a pound off, got 28. That's what you do. You don't add weight. There ain't a whole lot of overweight old people, Skip.
No.
And you definitely can't be over. Skip, what profession, if you see any runner, everybody always says, they try to lose weight. James Harden, I'm good. I'm gonna stay this way. At 33, bro?
32.
32, about to be, well, hell, he playing like he's 43, Skip. I mean,
I agree.
Skip, it just looked like he didn't even care last night. I'm just sorry. His body language told me, man, damn, when is this over? How much more time? Because they always looking at the boy. He looking like, damn.
Yep.
He got 15 more minutes in this season. Damn,
that is correct. Over. Listen, I've said this from the start. As great as he has been, and he's been all-time great. Historically great. We both acknowledged he was the greatest perimeter scorer we'd ever seen back in his MVP year in 2018. Yes. But in postseasons, he has consistently,
he's never been.
Almost predictably disappeared. And it's not that he flames out, he just disappears because he wants no part of it. He never was driven to win a championship. He was driven to win an MVP, and he did that.
Right.
He was driven to be a top 75 all-time player, and he's ranked in the top 30 all-time. But in the end, there was never any passion for winning a ring. I don't think he cares about it. There's passion for getting rich, and he got real rich.
He's straight with that. But here's the thing, though, Skip. When we were talking about at his apex, James Harden was a top 5 player.
Yeah.
Top 5. You can't convince me James Harden might not be top 15 right now.
You're talking about all time.
No, I'm talking about when he was in Houston.
Yeah.
He was a top 5 player in the NBA currently at the time.
Yeah.
When he was in Houston.
What do you mean top 15?
Now, is he still a top 15 player currently in the NBA?
No. No, I mean, he's a shell.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Just a few years ago, Skip, he was a top 5 player.
This is like the ghost of James.
Yes.
Harden. Like I call him Jim Harden because I don't even know who he is anymore.
Yeah, Skip, he's like a crab. You know how they come out their shell and get a new shell? The old James Harden, the shell, he's left that.
No, I got it. So I'm not surprised by any of this, but listen, if I'm Daryl Morey, My job is on the line because I called him my basketball Jesus. That's what he proclaimed when he got him back.
Skip, I don't care about people getting their money, but ain't no way in hell you can justify giving James Harden 4 years at $223 million. No way, no how.
Hey.
Forget if they money, they can do what they want to. But there's no general manager, maybe outside of Daryl Morey, that would max him out.
Yep. Hey, Philly ownership right now has to be horrified by this because you are stuck. It's a Russell Westbrook style problem that you got in Philly.
Well, it's going to be, at least we only got one more year of Russ, and Russ will be what, Russ 33, be 34? I think you're a year older than James. He done. Skip, you're going to be trying to move James Harden to be 37 on your payroll.
And you're going nowhere, man.
And it probably because it builds. So you're probably looking at $60 million. That last year, that deal Skip probably be $65 million.
Yep. Well, you're stuck for sure for 47 next year.
Yeah, I can stomach that.
A lot of voices across the country echoing your sentiments this morning. We'll see if James Harden takes any notice at all during this offseason. All right, but for now, we've got to get to a topic y'all were trying to jump on earlier. Could Baker Mayfield face off against Russell Wilson in the first week of the NFL season? You don't want to miss this. Stick around.